Hey, how's everyone doing? So let me get the chat up here. I see everybody going crazy over there. Uh, Man, what a weekend so far. So of course, James was down last night. Uh, Steve, my buddy Steve from Daisy's Honey, was down last night, or all day yesterday. Actually, they were both here all day yesterday, and Dennis Lentz stopped by yesterday. And what did we do? We hung out. We looked in some bees. We went to the beekeeping store. What else did we do? Had a cookout, and we went out to a 1882, I guess, plantation house that has some bees in the porch, and looked at that. So I've got a nuke box up there, but I'm probably gonna have to do a cutout over there. And I don't know. Charlie commented on a video a little while ago. Charlie had to go to a college graduation, but I don't remember. I think that was today. So he's heading home from that. James, once again, got to the airport at 4 o'clock this morning and got stuck. And last I heard, they weren't leaving like 12 hours. He was going to have to wait in the airport. So I don't know if he got an earlier flight or not, because last I talked to him, he said, "Oh, they're waving me over." So hopefully he got on an earlier flight, and so that's it. That's what's been going on today. I cleaned up from the cookout and took the honey frames that I had in my refrigerator and hung them, uncapped them, spun them. So did the extraction on that. I think I got about I don't know, close to maybe 30 pounds out of what was in the refrigerator. So that's been the weekend so far. And then I sold a nuke this afternoon, which I knew from last week. And man, that's the busy weekend. So you still in West Virginia? Okay, so this might be a short stream, guys. Everybody, all the co-hosts are traveling today. But let me go ahead and post up a link if anybody wants to talk bees, and go ahead and share that on my other screen over here, and pin it to the top and see if there's anything you guys want to talk about. So, hey, Lara Moore, Charlie, Mark Miller, Todd, Philip. Swarm Rustler works too good, huh? How many have you caught now? I saw your post. Hey, Stuffy, Steven. Looks like everybody's enjoying their Saturday night. There's Rich and Chris. And there's three boys. Hey, three boys. Russell, good to see you. And Michael, I almost scrolled past you. Apologize about that, bud. And Keith, 14. Do what? Well, it's going pretty good. I won't say that I have snitched a cigarette here or there, but I mean, they don't taste like they did. I've been using these Zen, which, they're all right, but it doesn't they like hurt my teeth. And so I don't know if these are the answer either. So, but I've been doing better. I didn't smoke all yesterday, and the guys were here all day. They can attest to that. So, so doing pretty good with it though. Better than I would have expected, honestly. So doing all right with it. But hey guys, don't be shy. Hit the link. Let's talk bees and see what's going on. I've got a good deal on Bang energy drinks if you got an Ollie's near you. I don't know if you got an Ollie's. Ollie's is kind of like a clearance store. I went there looking for mason jars, and I ended up going to Target to get them. They had the ball smooth, and so they had those $11.90 for 12. So I went ahead and bought them because why? I was there, and my Walmart had a flood, and oh, you're at your mama's house? All right. Well, tell mama we said hey. That's what I'm saying. Tell her we said hello. Oh my gosh. It's West Virginia Charlie, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Were you in the hotel?
I'm in the hotel. This is the first time I've ever done this on the phone.
Now the problem is you won't see the comments. See, this is when you should have brought that laptop that you cycled out. Oh, did we lose you already?
I should have brought the laptop.
Glitching a little bit. So I did buy some frames, and I saw your comment. So no, they had, of course, the price went up between last week and this week. So let me tell you, I bought 72 mediums and 104 deeps. So that's what? 176 frames, right?
Yeah.
$600. $600.
How much is a frame then?
$3.20 a piece.
Okay.
So,
I don't know. Lloyd's price, I think he said somewhere around $380, and that's wooden frames with foundation. So you're getting a break, a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, a little bit, but you know, I needed them, and now it is what it is, right? So I spun out.
It is what, you know, like you said, you needed them, and they're there. My question is, do they have them all along?
Their inventory on the website said yes. That's all I'm saying about that.
I was wondering whether James had to buy them for you.
So, no, he bought one thing. He bought a Chinese grafting tool. I'm like, I got 100 of them things at the house. Oh, but they tested them. They was there testing them, and they're like, I got one. And so he found one he liked. He went ahead and bought that one. So,
right.
And then he got stuck in the airport again. So he had to sit in the airport. When I talked to him earlier today, it would have been 12 hours by the time.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So
what was the holdup?
He said it was mechanical, is what they told him this morning. So I would, 12. It sucks, granted, but if they tell me there's a mechanical issue with the plane, I'm good. They could lie to me and tell me that it's mechanical, and as long as it's mechanical delay, great, fix it. I'll wait a whole extra day as long as I get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, that's kind of the thing, but I mean, it still sucks. So if it was going to be a 14-hour flight, by the time he left till the time he got home would have been about 14 hours. So that means he won't, if the same thing holds true, he won't get it home till like 6 something in the morning. So, who knows? He might be watching in an airport, or if he's laid over somewhere.
Right.
And I made the mistake of counting my boxes today, Charlie, with bees in them, with queens.
Yeah.
And I sold one nuke. So I have 60. Well, I might as well say 59 right now, because I took the queen out of the 2-frame nuke. The 1 2-frame nuke that had a mated queen in it, I caged her because I did the inspection of the battery, and the center box went queenless. So I put her in there, and they ran right up to her too on that roller cage, and we're just loving on her. So I just direct released her. So she might have been bald in the bottom. I don't know, but they didn't act like it. So
now she's a mated queen.
Yeah, one of my grafted mated queens. So, or
well, now is she laying?
Yes.
Is she a laying queen?
Yep.
Well, then I think you'll be fine because everybody says as long as they're a laying queen, no problem. But the commercial guys walk them in the front door all the time.
So, I mean, they came right up to the roller cage and just were walking on it and putting their head in, and they weren't trying to sting it or aggressive or anything. And then I also, so I was having a problem with the battery with them coming up, right? And I had brought frames up. So what I did is I took the frames I brought up out. I brought up new ones with eggs, larvae, caproot, and all 3 stages and bees to the top from each box. And actually I took 2 from the first box because the queen was missing in the middle one. And then I dropped those frames down into those boxes. And so hopefully, I checked them this afternoon. They did have bees on those frames up top, so maybe they'll start moving up there.
Right.
Steve brought 2 nukes down from New York yesterday, and I didn't go in them, Steve. I didn't go in them. I told you I wouldn't. So I didn't go in them, but we moved them yesterday to 10 frame boxes, and they were flying. They were getting it today. So they were out there flying around and getting stuff going.
Well, is Steve going back home tonight?
Steve left this morning and went back to Virginia. He's going back to his daughter's, and then he's going to go back home.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be leaving first thing tomorrow morning. I'll be back home by, I'll say noon time at the latest.
My those nukes I got last weekend in the middle of the night.
Yeah, the ones that are mite infested.
Mite bombs, bro. And I put the outlaw treatment in there, and they had mites all over the sticks. All over.
Like I told you, I would blow some vapor in there, some oxalic acid vapor, and that's a quick knockdown. Hit them about.
Well, the beautiful thing was with the sticks, there was a ton of them, which means it was working. You know, it worked quick too, but that's only what was on them, right? So good thing there were nukes, right? So there wasn't that much. And
well, hit them about once a week or twice a week with oxalic acid vapor, and you should, you know.
So that's what
check for mite load. I guess the mite load would be down in the bottom of the hive.
I did check one of my nukes that I had made.
Bob's locked up.
I'm not locked up. Am I? No, I'm not locked up. You're locked up, Charlie.
Go ahead, Bob. You're spinning there.
That's you, man.
I'm back.
Okay, so yeah, it's you in the hotel. I checked one of my nukes that I had, my grafted queen in it, and it dropped 1 mite compared to a nuke that had 25 mites on it that it dropped. So and that's just what landed on the stick. So I don't, we'll see how they go. But he did tell me that he wasn't able to get down there in the fall to his bees. So I kind of knew, but I didn't know how bad, right? So fix that. Maybe Charlie will go out.
I think you'll be fine. You got to. I'm here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm here. I can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, so
you're I think
is,
you're going to be fine, Bob.
Well, those nukes are growing already. I've been moving them slowly to 5/5, and then I'll move them to a 10, and then 5/5 to a 10.
Right.
And,
right.
So I had the outlaw treatment. That's the stick. So he actually had given it to me because we had talked about it before. He says, well, the commercial guys are all using this outlaw stuff, right? So I was like, well, what is it? So it's actually Amatraz, but I think it's a higher percentage of Amatraz. And so you mix 1 gram in one of those small Crisco things and mix it up real good. And then you just use a tongue depressor and, coat it and then bang it off and throw it in the hive. And it works well. It definitely kills the mites because those mites just fell off quick. So at least the ones the phoretic mites, right? So we don't know as far as what's hatching out. Yeah, Charlie's in the hotel, man. So he's got some suspect signal, I think.
Yeah, I'm poor signaling on my phone and everything.
But so yeah, that treatment does work, at least for the phoretic mites. And then, as they're hatching out, hopefully they're dropping off the bees and clean them right up. So it says you can do it like a Swedish towel method, right? It says use shop towels and they use the liquid form, right? So they use the liquid in an oil, or the Amatrazine oil, and mixed it up. And then they said to put it in a let the shop towel soak it in, put one on top of the frames once a week for 3 weeks. And I didn't. I just did the stick. But the mites definitely stick in the stick. I think I showed it yesterday. Let me see if I got the photo. And I like the sticks are not expensive, right? You can get those at any craft store. But I'll show you. I only took a picture of one of them, but I mean, you can see, I could see 5 mites right there, right? Easy 5. And that's the big one. So there's little ones on there too. So there's more than that. And I think it even caught a hive beetle right there. But yeah, so when I ran out of sticks, I had all those Apivar strips that I had used earlier that were dead laying in the yard. I started dipping those and throwing them in the entrances so the bees would have to walk past them, getting in and out. And it worked pretty well. Pretty well, guys. Did I lose you all together, Charlie? I think I lost Charlie. I'm going to remove him. And if he comes back, then he can log back in. Let me see. All right. Maybe he'll come back if his signal's in. But anybody that wants to join, come on in. Oh, there he is. He's back. He's back. Back in the groove.
Poor internet service here, even though I'm connected.
So you're in Morganton.
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I'm almost right at the end of close to the Maryland, West Virginia now.
You would have had
I'm about 28 miles away from.
You would have had a great time yesterday, Charlie.
Go ahead.
I said you would have had a great time yesterday. We just hung out, talked bees, looked at some bees.
Yeah, it looks like you guys are having fun yesterday.
We didn't have an agenda. It was just hanging out.
Did James go through the hives with you?
We went through a couple hives, not a lot. And I was expecting him to shred me on some things, when he was looking at them. And I was like, well, so what do you think overall? He says, I think he's rated it on a 1 to 4 scale. He gave most of them like a 3. So, and we only went through a few hives. So it wasn't like we went crazy because I had some spicy bees yesterday. James
Right.
got tagged a couple times. I got tagged a couple times. Honestly, Steve got stung once, but that was when he pinched a bee grabbing a nuke out of the back of his truck. So it wasn't. And then we went to. So when James got here early in the morning, we talked for a few minutes, drank coffee, went to down to South Carolina Happy Bees, looked at some bees over there, and then by that time I got a call from Steve. Hey, where you guys at? Oh, we'll be right there. So we drove back down here, talked for a while, then we ran to the bee store. So we just hung out all day. I marked a queen freehand that Steve saw it. I grabbed it off the frame and boop, popped it and put it right back down. Did one today too.
I'm going to try to turn my camera off and see whether or not that helps.
Probably will help a little bit. Drank some champagne of beers. We did.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah. Perfect. And you look a lot better. You still there?
Yeah, right. You're still jumping.
So we did and then
yeah, I'm still here.
A bottle of mead with dinner that Steve brought down, and then I was like, we found out. So Steve had all this creamed honey and everything he brought, and when he left, I was like, oh, he forgot to leave the honey, and then James got to the airport. I said, damn, I forgot to give you that truck. And he's like, well, load Steve's honey in it and drive it up north. So I was like, well, yeah, so we'll have to figure something out on that. But it was, we just had a good time hanging out. And then we ended up at a 1882 old plantation on, I think he said 68 acres. And beautiful place, man. Beautiful place out there. And he's got bees in the porch in his overhang. So the thing is that it's really regulated right by the Historical Society on what they can and can't do to their home. So I'm not trying to be the guy that cuts it up. You know what I mean? If he cuts it and he's the homeowner and he's there with me, great. If it's messed up, then it's him. It's not me. But I thought he would call me today, but he didn't. So I do have to go back and get those bees in my box. But it's a beautiful place. And when I go back, I'll try to video that and make a YouTube video out of it. And, it was a crazy place, but everybody seemed to have a good time. If they didn't have a good time, they didn't tell me about it, so. No, Charlie's there. His video.
Oh, I'm here.
Where's he going? Cages said Charlie's gone. So.
No, I'm here. I'm here, Brian, and everybody. I just trying to turn the video off to try to keep it synced up better.
Try to keep it from lagging out. So
yeah, timing out.
I didn't know if I was going to go live.
You'll have to read.
But I figured I would for a little while because for some reason, I was thinking you were going to be home tonight. And there's Tom. Hey, Tom. And Tennessee Tim. Hey, Tennessee Tim.
The graduation was today. It was pretty much an all-day.
Right. So you're busy all day sitting in a seat, right? I can't even sit down that long. And then I put my honey in the bottling tank and warmed it up, right, to make it flow, and then ran it back through my strainer to try to catch any wax. So now it's in there draining through the strainer. Swarm rustlers 5 for 5, Tom says. So, Tom, come on in, man. If you want to come in. I like hearing updates on the swarm rustler. It's been a good year, guys, with the swarm lure. I'm glad. I'm thankful all you guys have bought it and making posts and stuff like that. It's helping out. It's starting to slow down on Amazon, which you expect this time of year. Texas Bee Supply hasn't paid their invoice yet, so it's still sitting in my floor in there. So I guess I'll have to call them on Monday. And so, hey, Charlie popped out. There he's back again. All right. And then he's back out again. So what was I going to say? I was going to ask something about losing my mind tonight. But with the swarm lure has definitely gone good this year. So I'm appreciative to all you guys, and hopefully they pay that invoice so I can get that in the mail to them, because I could use the money I just spent yesterday. I was here all day hanging out and spent $1,400 on beekeeping stuff. I've got more marking pins coming because I'm down to like 6 sets of marking pins, but I ordered 75 more sets, so they should be coming in. Hey, Brian, good to see you. So I know you're still catching them too, Chris? Shoot. Yeah, he's on his phone too inside, so that makes it probably even worse. So I spun out the honey in that super and I gave it to a colony, so hopefully they'll go up and get to work and get that taken care of. Tom just got a new computer, so he said he's going to try to get on. Oh yeah, we all got stung. James got stung twice on his nose right when he came, or as soon as he got here. I got stung on my ear while I was live yesterday. So yeah, we definitely took some heat yesterday. He's like, find that colony and kill that queen and requeen her. So there he is.
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know how long I'm gonna last, but
so I spun that honey out today, and the frames were pretty dry. They still have some honey that sticks to the wood and whatnot. And I loaded them in a super and dropped it on a colony. So hopefully they go up there and start cleaning that honey out and say, oh, more space up here, and get to work. And I got to show James what a hive beetle slime frame looks like that I had put in the freezer, right? And he's like, that's disgusting. I'm like, yep, it is. No sign of them. I've got some like that too, Keith, where they just haven't moved up yet in the frames. But see, Charlie, now you got to take your laptop so you can hardwire into the hotel. Or Charlie, not.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's Wi-Fi. Laptop does better.
Let me see. Hope says their flow is done. No way. No way your flow's done up there, Hope. Can't be. All the dandelions and stuff we got going on down here can't be done. Because I see pollen coming in, but I also see a ton of bees going in and out that don't have pollen on them, which means they're bringing nectar, right? They're not just going and flying around. And Lee says their tallow's blooming now. If we're done right now, I'm screwed. That's what I'm saying. Because I'm still just putting some supers on some stuff.
Yeah, I put all my drone frame supers on before I left. And I got everything queened up. So I found some more queens that mysteriously appeared. You know,
Well,
they were virgins in the swarm, or
we had
back.
Yeah, we checked one hive yesterday that I had a queen excluder on, and they made cells over the excluder. There was about 5 or 6 queen cells that hatched out, so they pretty much got rid of her. James saw the queen. Steve and I didn't see it, and so we took the queen excluder out to make sure she was able to get out, and hopefully they get going, in there. So,
all right.
Calpus blooming, persimmon, clover, holly, magnolia. Yeah, Brian C's got a bunch going over there. Hey, Russell. We're all over deep, and I put out to see if they'd clean it. Yeah, I don't know. I've got some colonies that aren't going up, and then some that are. Some are going really crazy at it and capping and stuff. I could have probably pulled. I did a shake test on a frame yesterday. That nothing came out of it. I could have probably pulled it and spun it today, but I mean, they're going all right now. Let me see. I'm looking at. Yeah, so I'm hoping it starts ramping up here because the mild weather, that things really start going to work. I think Charlie's gone again.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. You just sit. You stay.
Yeah, I'm here.
Really still.
Yeah, I didn't know whether you heard my last comment. I got 6 mated queens in before I left, and I found 2 or 3 more, must have been virgin queens that are in the minukes. So things are looking good.
Caged them all up, good to go. Well, that's good. So, what time do you figure you'll be home tomorrow?
I'm hoping around 11, maybe 12 at the latest. It's about It's about 3.5 to 4 hour trip.
Yeah, welcome to beekeeping for sure, because some colonies just go crazy and some don't, right? But it's all good.
Yeah.
I started the year with 17 colonies, and right now I'm sitting at 60. So
right,
that's not bad. And if I had queens, or if I graft some more queens, I could have even more. But James was saying yesterday, I think you got too many bees for your apiary. So might have to start looking for some more outyards. But I just loathe the idea of having to drive to outyards to work bees. So it's another impasse.
Yeah,
right?
that's a real pain. That's a real pain, Bob.
Either I have to start doing that or I have to start scaling back.
Well, look at it this way. Scale up on selling more nukes and growing your own nukes, growing bees, maybe scale back on some of your honey hives. That's the main thing. And then kind of
the income. Equalize the income.
Yeah, so and then get back on the queen rearing situation.
Yeah,
so you can have all them hives, but not all of them can make honey for you, but they can make bees for you, and they can make queens for you.
So that's the thing that I was kind of hoping, like with the ones that I made split right this year, is
Right.
that I was hoping that they would pretty much just be able to draw out some comb and help me with that situation. I was kind of looking more for next year than I am really this year.
Right. I mean, it's like with your nukes, use them as wax factories, draw more frames out for you.
So Russell says, Bob, do your production hives in an out yard and all the nukes and expansion at home. That way, that makes sense because you don't go in those as often, right? You're just dropping boxes off and pulling boxes back type of situation.
Right. Exactly.
And yeah, I mean, my girls are bringing pollen in. So if they're bringing pollen in, they're probably finding nectar too. So I'm not ready to pull. I mean, I still got a month and a half. I don't pull my honey till the last of June. So I'm just feeling like Mother Nature knows what she's doing. Sometimes, she knows when it's time for him to.
Well, here we got the locust blooming. I'm seeing wild cherries blooming, trees, and then the poplar trees are going to be, or either they're getting ready to start to bloom.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you say, I got a month and a half before it's done.
I had the
biggest thing I got to do is I ran out of drawn wax. I'm just going to put foundation on, see what they'll do for me.
Let me see. I've got
that, and I've also made any honey supers that are full of nectar. I've made them 9 frames, so hopefully they're going to draw the wax out wider.
So it's saying in this area, the sourwood should start in May. So we should be running sourwood from now till July, and it's supposed to be a major flow here. So
yeah, but do you have sourwood trees in your area?
I got all kinds of trees. I got more trees than I know around here. I'm sure I do. And then in July, well, then the goldenrod starts up. So,
yeah, but I just, for me, I get pollen out of that, but I don't get much nectar. I just let the bees have all that.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of do as well. Is once I pull my honey, the rest of the honey they collect this year stays on until the spring. Like when I start pulling frames in January and February, and everyone's like, "Why are you pulling honey now?" Because it's just insurance for them to make it till next year. So just trying to take a little bit different. Let me look at the upstate because I believe Hope is in SC11 where I'm in a different zone. I'm in region 12 and he's in region 11. So he should have tulip poplar going and Yopon holly still and blackberries. And then in June is aster start. I mean, as far as major. Now, minor flows, I don't know, if he lives near farms or not, but pumpkin, squash, gourd, cantaloupe, the melons, milkweed, yellow rocket, bitterweed, horse mint, sumac, all that starts in May. Persimmons, possumwood, basswood, cucumbers starts in June, cotton starts in June, corn starts in June. But corn doesn't provide nectar, does it?
No. And
but why would it
doesn't provide pollen either. Bees do not go after corn for pollen. It might be the last resort pollen.
And then, of course, you got like sunflowers and thistles and Sourwood for him starts in June, which shows it's a major flow. So worst case scenario, he might be in a micro dearth. So I call it a micro dearth, just a couple weeks or something like that. But yeah, I'm here. So
Okay.
I did pull some honey. Let's see what Charlie's got going right now. Charlie, let me see if I can even find Maryland on this map. You're more inland toward West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm
right?
region
11.
No, I'm close to Baltimore,
which is on the coast, right?
I'm in
Maryland 12.
I'm in 7, region 7A or something like that.
Well, right now it's showing that you got black locust, sweet clover, white clover, tulip poplars, yopon holly, and asters, sumac, and lima beans. Major flows for you. And then July you start goldenrod as well. So
yeah, but like I say, our big flow was poplar and locust. So,
but you do get some of the other stuff too.
all right,
probably.
Bob, I got to get off here. Yeah,
all right, man.
I got to get off. Maybe we'll get on tomorrow night or something.
All right. Well, you have a good one, Charlie.
All right, I'll catch you later. All right, bye.
All right, later. All right, I'll drop the link to the site. It's a NASA site, and it's the honeybee net. It's a long thing, so and you click your region, and it shows you what the flows are in your area. So by this chart, I get a lot of the same flows as like Lee and those guys, but just different times. So looks like Lee and those guys, where's it? Yeah, it's very much the same. Very much the same. But they get a little bit different plant forage than I get. Let's see what Florida doesn't have as many different ones, but they got longer seasons, I think. Their citrus runs from February to May. And their Tupelo is from March to June. Let me see. Where's mine here? South Carolina. So I don't really have much going on right now. There's Tom. Hey, Tom.
Hey, I'm on my new computer. Finally got the camera working.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Other than your picture.
How's the volume?
Oh, it's good, man. Doing good. Okay. So you're 5 for 5?
Yes.
With the swarm lure, so it's working good. See, so it doesn't really show the dearth, Chris. It shows, but if you look at it, you can see major flows because they'll be highlighted, right? I think it puts it. How does it say it? Substantial flow or something like that is what they call it. Let's see.
Did I lose?
No, you're still here.
Okay.
I'm just looking at so starting in April, we start with tulip poplars for major flow and yopon holly. And then it goes to sourwood. And that goes, so basically from April through July, we get some major flow, and then it goes to goldenrod. But all the other little stuff that's in here, we still get it. It's just not major, right? So like asters or something where we're at. But so starting in March, we get the Tupelo black gum Ogeechee lime is what they call it. And then, but after July, we start running into some slowdown around here. Like it's got Chinese tallow on here, but it's not showing a major flow. Yeah, they are so generalized. You're right. They're not like specific to where I live, you know, within the 2 miles of where I live. It's just a region. But I don't know. I got a lot of girls going in and out. What's wrong?
Thought I froze up.
No, man, you look perfect. Looking perfect over there.
Okay, I'm good.
So walk us through it. You got 5 traps and caught 5 swarms?
Yeah, I put out 5 traps and all 5 have caught swarms, and I got 3 of the traps rebaited and back out again. But I don't know if I want any more swarms.
That's the thing, right? So you just don't know. It could be feast or famine. Either you catch a ton of them or you catch none. And I'm a little bit worried because, you know, Jason at Bohemia Bees is running that side-by-side comparison. I don't know what lures are in the box. I know he carries mine.
Yeah.
I'm sure mine is in one of them. I don't know which one. So if it doesn't come back favorable or like less favorable than the other one,
Right.
then
Hey, I can tell you, though, I had one of my bees swarm today, and I put the box underneath the swarm, and I went and dumped them down. I got it all on video, but I totally missed the box.
oh yeah.
But yeah, I was like, man, I totally missed it. So I put some of your spray inside the box, and man, did they start running in.
Did they just start walking in?
Yep. So then I finally saw the queen go in. So
And well, like that queen that I caught out of the 2-framer and moved her to another box. You know, queens, even though they can't fly, they can fly a little bit, just short distance, right? So it's like they hop, and then they just fly a little bit and then land somewhere. So she flew off and landed on the ground. I went to pick her up. She flew off, flew to the front of the box, came back in. So I put the frame I was holding back in the box, grabbed the other frame to see if she was on it. She wasn't. Put it in, grabbed the other one back out. She was back on it. So I grabbed her, marked her, put her in the in the other colony. So
yeah,
Jason can be bought, but he ain't cheap. You know, I do want to see. I mean, I don't know which box it is. If I'm little logo or big logo, maybe I'm not even one of the 2 lures. I don't know. Maybe it's both my lure. Maybe he put bullets in one and spray in the other. Maybe
I'm using yours exclusively this year. So,
well, you know,
good.
The Bug Man, he started out with side-by-side. He had 4 or 5 different lures in boxes. And when he started, he had my lure in one box, Swarm Commander, Swarm Science, Lemongrass. And I'm probably missing something on there, but he had them baited up, and he caught one in mine, and then he moved it, and then he caught another one with mine, and then he rebaited all of his hives with mine, if I'm understanding it correctly. And then he's caught at least 7 that I saw on video.
Wow.
And then I know Joseph has caught a few on the swarm lure, and you've caught 5. Phillips caught a few. Mr. Ed caught 2 within 24 hours on the lure. And so it works, guys. I mean, it works. It's just is what it is. It's just so, but with that being said, when you start doing side-by-side comparisons, there's so many things that can influence that, right?
Yeah. Well, on my 5 boxes, this is my 3rd year putting them in the exact same spot, same boxes, and I've never been 5 for 5. I've been 4 for 5, but not 5 for 5. So don't know if it's
But that could just be more swarms. You know, I don't want to take credit for that. Okay, I'll take credit for it. It's all the lure. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, that's just the way it is. I mean,
yeah.
So with that being said, like on side-by-side comparisons like Jason's doing, you know, do I want mine to be victorious? Absolutely. But if it's not, does that mean the lure doesn't work? No. It's just wasn't it today, you know what I mean? But the problem is that Jason's got so many subs that it could actually be detrimental to my business, right? So that's the only thing.
Yeah. I've caught, I think, 7 open, swarms so far too. So I think I got like 12 swarms so far.
12?
Yeah.
Hey, Todd.
Hey, what's up, guys?
See you repping Daydant over there.
It's just a hat I could throw on.
Yeah.
I have
around.
I wore a Premier hat all yesterday, and I've got one Premier frame. I just got it at Hive Life. I got the hat at Hive Life. And
that's what I've been doing in the garage today. I've been building frames.
Building frames.
I'm wearing a green t-shirt, so if I fade in and out, it's because of the t-shirt.
It's not working, Lynn.
Yeah.
I haven't looked on the website yet, Bob. Is Honey Rustler up?
On my site?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on my site.
Okay. All right.
Got it on. And when, you know, a lot of people buy it from Amazon, which is fine. It doesn't matter to me. But I make more if you order from my site because I don't have to pay Amazon for it. So, but either way, wherever, you know, it's fine with me. If you want to buy it on Amazon, buy it on Amazon.
No. I'll go direct to you.
And
I'm going to need it because I found out today that I have a lot more orange honey than I thought I was going to have.
Oh, really? Are they packing it in?
Yeah. I run 8s and all deeps, and I probably have probably about 20 deeps full of orange honey.
20 deeps full right now.
Yeah. Somewhere around between 15 and 20. It's a lot.
Are you starting to spin yet?
No. I'm going to be spinning soon, but I was doing, I grafted the other day and I went and looked at them this morning. And I have to give a big shout out to Mark because Mark Miller, because he brought up that recipe he uses with Apis. And so I grafted 45 and they took 40. And the cups are full of royal jelly
with the Apis Biologics.
Yeah, I did that same recipe, put it in the feeder, shoved a whole bunch of pollen frames in there, pollen patties, you name it. And
it's amazing. People that haven't tried the Apis Biologics product, I sell it. Guys, I'll be honest with you. I make money if you buy it from me. If you buy it from someone else, I don't make any money. But if you buy it from me, I make money. So with that being said, I used it before I sold it, which is why I started selling it. It's night and day difference on my colonies when I put it there.
It really is
hard to explain the difference. I mean,
well, it's night and day. That's the best way to put it. So I had a huge field force this year because I knew it worked because I tried it last year. I bought some from Andrew.
Out of Canada, yeah.
Yeah, it took forever to get here, but my next purchase, I'll go to your website and buy some more. Well, but I don't know about the 6-pound bag yet, though, or whatever weight that is.
Oh, this thing? Yeah. This thing here?
Yeah.
I bought one. This is just for mixing with pollen sub, right? But it makes 600 pounds of pollen patties. So if you take
Wow.
600 pounds of pollen sub and mix it in a blender with this, it'll hook up your pollen patties. So that's
And
why I
I'm
only got one.
I'm sort of like you. I'm out of equipment now. I had to make a box order because so you know how I do the single brood management, right?
I got to do it for Charlie.
Yeah. So I did that this year. Well, like every year. And then I got a great idea about, you know what? Let me take the excluders out and let that queen go up, and then I'll just take those boxes off after oranges are done, because I don't think the oranges are going to be worth a darn this year.
Then you
And
got
then
all
I'll
the
make my
brood.
splits. Huh?
Then you got a bunch of brood. You can make splits with.
Yeah. And
Instead, you got 75 extra pounds of orange honey.
Yeah. I've got a ton of orange honey. And so now I have a lot of hives have 3 deep boxes on them. One has 5, a couple have 4. And, and just.
Yeah, I did this. Well, I did the same thing to a point, because some of my colonies that were like last year, that this should be their first real season, that I felt like they were going to blow up and build a bunch of babies, and they did. And now I'm stuck. I double deeps, right? So, but I'll start after the flow. I'll start shaking those down and moving some of those bees to other weaker colonies to try to get them back to, get them up to strength. No, so I'm addressing this question here, guys. No, I didn't. I went down there earlier in the season, and bought some few queen cells from them. I only got 5 queen cells myself, but Mentor got 20. So it's I go there. I was there last year. I've been there several times. Last year I actually was buying queens and banking queens and reselling queens. I could have sold a bunch of queens this year, but for me, there was not enough of the risk to reward of buying queens wholesale and reselling them. It's you got to have the clients backed up when you go to get them. Otherwise, you're banking them. And once you start banking them, you either got to make splits with them or you got to sell them, because after they have an expiration date in those cages, right? So,
Right.
So that's what I was up against. And this year, when I called them, I even had thought, well, I've already grafted, but I could use some more queens and make some splits and maybe sell a few of them. So I called him to see if I could get some. And he said, oh, I'm probably out of queens for the next 2 months. And I said, well, you leave in May to go back up to New York. So that means you don't have any queens is what you're telling me. You won't have any queens. Well, we can get you some cells. I don't want cells. I can make cells. I want queens. So we just did away with that. And I mean, it is what it is. And it just, their cutics, they're pretty expensive. I mean, for around here. So to give you an example, if I wanted to sell their nukes, right? Like, let's say I owned a bee store and I'm like, hey, Mr. Cutic, I want your nukes and I want to sell your nukes. Well, the amount that I would have to buy to get any kind of price break to make it even worth me going to get them, I would have to get 300 nukes. So that means I'm dropping, several thousands of dollars on his bees. So,
A lot to bite.
Get to work, Bob. Honey, order honey rustler concentrate. What? Did you just order something from me? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Oh yeah, I see that. Hey, thanks, Michael.
Yeah, Bob, I'm in a little stickle today. I like to run about 30 hives, and I'm up to 39 hives right now. And I got 7 queens showing up next month. It's like, what am I going to do with those?
Perfect. Go through your old queens and
Yeah.
get rid of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Pinch a couple, especially the swarms.
See, gosh, you know what? Old queens, though, now I know James is probably listening to this, like rolling over in his seat, ready to choke me. But I'm the kind of guy that I kind of go a little bit more with what Brad says, Brad Hogg, right? So instead of, it's okay, replace that queen in that big colony, but take that queen out in like a split, right? And just let her lay until she doesn't lay anymore. And then you got at least brood, and maybe she was a good queen. Maybe that's when you want to graft eggs off or graft larvae off of. So, so yeah, that's the thing. You make splits, and then you got a small bunch of bees. If they supersede her, then you get a brand new queen off of what she's got, right?
Yeah, I'll just throw the old queen in the nuke. It'll be June, so there won't be that much left of the year before they start shutting down.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I look at it. Todd, what do? You just crush them and replace them, or how do you do it?
If I have a friend that wants one, I'll give it to him.
I'll do that too.
I'll let them know, hey, you know what, this queen is old, or I don't know. Usually they lay pretty good. If they're starting to spit out drones, I'll get rid of them right away. But sometimes I'll give them away. Sometimes I'll use them a little bit and then I'll get rid of them.
If someone says, hey, I need a queen, well, I've got one I'm willing to get rid of, but to let you know, you'd normally pay $40, but this queen, $25 you can have her.
I give it to my friends for $0. I say, hey, you could have her if it works out for you, great. But I'm just letting you know, she might stop with the worker brood at tomorrow. I don't know.
Let me see.
I have one right now that's 3 years old that if she makes it, yeah.
Don't tell anybody. You just told everybody.
Don't say a word, Mark. I have one that's 3, and I'm looking at her, and if she keeps laying like she is still, I'm gonna graft off her before the end of summer, and then I'll probably dispatch her.
Yeah, I'll probably put a blast out on the social network saying, hey, I'm getting rid of 7 hives.
Well, I've still got nukes.
Queens.
But I had, like the nukes, I haven't, I put one post up earlier in the year that I was doing nukes, and I haven't put any more out. Now, with the mite situation that I found in those nukes, I'm just trying to treat them now. I don't want to put that on somebody, right? If you were a first year beekeeper and you got that and it died, I would feel pretty bad,
Right.
So it's like, I just treat them up, get them healthy, and who knows? Maybe no, I don't usually. All the queens that I sold last year were the last year's queens. I mean, they were first year queens. So I've sold one queen that I grafted because the lady was like, I really need a queen. We're going out of town. Okay, come get your queen.
Right.
But with that being said, the hive that I got that queen out of and sold her, the daughter is the one that I put in the hive today. So it requeened itself, and then I just robbed it. So now hopefully it'll requeen itself again. Yeah. And, 1 or 2 queens just back there doing nothing in the backyard is okay with me. And let me see. I'm trying to keep up with all this stuff. Queen V says, my queens are mean from removals here in West Texas. Time to start pinching those genetics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran into one of those today. I generally have decent bees, but and I looked, I broke off or popped up the top box, and I looked underneath on the frames, and I saw one frame that had like 4 cells, and then I thought, oh crap, I'll go and hunt for the queen. So I put that box to the side. I picked up the first frame against the wall, and man, it was on from that point. I mean, they just went bananas. I didn't do anything. Maybe I crushed one bee somehow. I don't know. But that was that. And I put it back together, and I said, the hell with this. I'm making queens. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let her swarm out of that box and say sayonara. And then those other cells that are in there, I'm going to crush. And then I'll put one of these queen cells that I'll have I think Saturday or Sunday, that'll be ready. And I'll just put it in there and do that.
With the mean bees, I mean, when I go in a colony, if they're starting to fly around and stuff, it doesn't bother me that much. When it bothers me is like yesterday when we're just out in the yard, not even close to them, and then you get zapped. I'm like, what the?
Right.
You know, nothing makes it. I was laughing. James got hit on the nose. He literally got rid of her, right? And it wasn't 5 minutes later, zap, right in the same spot. I'm like, well, what can you do?
Yeah, I got one hive that I got to check out. It was mean the last time I just opened the lid up on it. Kind of went after me. It's like, wow. So, and then one of my hives swarmed today. That's what I was busy getting a swarm. And I think I know which hive it came out of, so I got to do some hunting tomorrow. Cut some of those cells out so there's only 1 or 2.
You know, I typically don't get early season swarms. Now later, after the honey flow, I'll get some small ones. I have yet to have that huge, massive swarm that just swarms out of my colony.
Yeah, I think this one came out of the one where I have 2 deeps and 3 supers on it.
Hey, Jeremy.
How you doing?
Well, you don't look like a queen or a V.
Yeah, so my lady's name is Valerie. So
I was totally expecting a female to be popping in here.
No,
so good to see you, man.
Good to see y'all. Now I've been following most of y'all for a while. I just haven't to jump on, so I've been wanting to for a while, but it's a lot different out here in West Texas. I used to beekeep in Middle Georgia and then Alabama-Georgia border, and West Texas is a heck of a lot different.
Hot bees?
Hot bees, hot weather, dearth. I mean, just
you get it all.
Everything, yes, sir.
Sounds like us too. I mean, so is it hard to? It's probably not too hard to see. You know, Africanized genetics and hot bees. I don't know that they're the same because I've seen.
Everybody says, "Oh, those are Africanized." I say we have a percentage of the genetics in there because there was a lot of cases and still are cases. But I'd also be pissed off if it was hot. There was a dearth. You know,
some dudes poking around my nest.
Right now, there's times where I can't even see through my veil just because they're so aggressive, getting stung through my pants like crazy. But it just depends. Most of my colonies are from removals, so they're hit and miss. Most of them are pretty rowdy.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with any of that.
Right. Yeah. In Georgia, I used to do removals like this, literally. Here, I can't even walk by my colonies without a suit for the most part. So.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm riding my lawnmower next to the colonies, I'm like going full out, right? Fast as I can go. Not that they couldn't catch me, but by the time they feel the vibration, I'm past them already.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, it's I mean, they're hot, but they're not all of the colonies are like that. Just a few of them, right? And it could be that I've got so many bees in a concentrated area.
So the thing about that is about 90% are hot, I would say. And when I say hot, you know, when Bruce Bees says he has hot bees, those are I would love to have. I would love to have.
He's got lukewarm bees.
Those are cold bees to me. Like I said, I used to beekeep in Georgia and Alabama, and I loved it there. Here, I've had my kids when I was there, they would beekeep here. They kind of stay back a little bit and more help on the processing side or selling. It's a little. Another thing is, I just drove. I'm actually the president of our beekeepers association out here, and I actually went to buy bees because Texas is so spread out. We don't have a beekeeper store, but the closest one's probably 4 hours away, and there's people 6 hours north of me, 3 hours west of me that are even further from a beekeeping store. So I actually posted and drove almost to Louisiana. So it's about a 7.5 hour drive for me. Picked up 48 nooks just to get those genetics and bring them back to West Texas. And then people, like I said, people drove another 4 hours to come pick them up from me just because Calm Genetics, the price was cheaper and there's no other place to buy bees. And I was just doing that to help, newer beekeepers, because with these feisty bees, a lot of people will be too scared and back off some. But what I'm trying to do is, we were talking about queens. Yeah, we're talking about queens just now. Is I'm gonna start grafting off those genetics and try to let them open mate and hopefully mellow out what I got slowly. It's not gonna be. I did buy some mated queens from California last year, and they're still calm. They're doing good. But once they get open mated, that's when it starts, changing temperament a little bit. So
they get fired up.
Oh yeah.
Well, when I started beekeeping, I was getting them from South Carolina happy bees, right? And you'll see them. Oh, my bees are so gentle, and I'm like, yeah, Sam, but you got 3 frames of bees and a 5-frame nuke, and I've got 20 frames of hungry bees trying to, with all these other colonies trying to damn board at the same time. So
hey Jeremy, I had one hive a few years back though. If I would park my car within 25 yards of it and shut the door, I would have a dozen bees on me instantly.
I believe.
And then another 50 more coming at me.
Right. Yeah.
Now that to me was a hot hive.
Oh yeah. And not just that, besides the temperature and everything, the resources here are just so scarce. In Georgia, you got a lot of commercial beekeepers having 60 to 100 colonies in a yard. Out here, I probably mainly put maybe 10, maybe 12 colonies per, few miles, just because the resources are so scarce. And when the flow is on, it's on for those few weeks, and then that's it. That's another reason, they protect whatever they can because they know that's all they got.
So,
Right.
So how long, what kind of stuff do they forage out there?
So we were actually lucky to get some wildflowers this year. Not a lot, not like where we'll actually get too much of a harvest of that, but more of it is mesquite honey. And y'all probably never had that, but mesquite brush, it's just, mesquite wood that you barbecue with.
Right.
The good thing about that is it blooms more when it's dry. So last year it bloomed 3 times, about a part. I harvested the first time, and then kind of the second and third bloom, they weren't as strong, but they were able to help feed. And then as the fall flow, the only thing we really got here is we don't get goldenrod or anything like that anymore, like I did before, but we got cotton. But the thing about it is 90% of the cotton fields are dry land cotton, and we had 6 inches of rain last year. So all of it was insurance claims. All the cotton farmers just had to, dig up that ground. You have to find irrigated cotton to get any kind of fall flow. If not, you're just feeding all year long. So it's scarce, but when it's there, you have to get it. That's all there is to it.
So in West Texas, you got a lot of cactus and stuff out there. Do they get on the cactus blooms and stuff or no?
They do. I just took some pictures of it. They don't make a nectar off of it. They get the pollen, but we get pollen from all kinds of brush or weeds or whatever else. But as far as nectar, the ones here, we have a little bit of what we call cat claw, but there's not enough of it to get a actual, flow of it. Further south, I was talking to a buddy a couple hours south of me. They get wahilo and all kinds of different other brush that are, desert brush. But
Right.
where I'm at in West Texas, I'm almost dead center and go to the west about an hour. So it's about a little over 6 hours to El Paso, about 7 hours to Shreveport, about 7 hours to the north, and then 8 hours to the south. So I'm dead center. But all we have for us mainly is mesquite, wildflower here and there, and cotton, if you're lucky.
So I guess from looking at it from the business aspect of it, how do you make that profitable?
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, how would you make that profitable if you're constantly having to feed the bees?
So when we get a flow, it's good. In the business aspect, most people want to focus on one thing. The good thing is I do bee removals. I sell honey. Those are my main two things I can do. Now, I am getting into some pollination this year for watermelons and cantaloupe. About 3 hours away from here, they make what they call it's a town called Pecos, and they make a Pecos cantaloupe. And around there, they have the dirt is supposedly perfect for melons and cantaloupe and super sweet, whatever that brand is. But that's 3 hours one direction. And about an hour north, I got some more melons for cantaloupe that I could do. The good thing about that is my mesquite flow is usually the end of April, all of May, and usually end of May or early June. The actual melon pollination is mid-May to about September. The bad thing is, at the same time, our cotton starts in early July and ends at the end of August or September. So whatever I'm going to send to pollination, I'm not going to get any kind of harvest off of it. I just get, they're getting pollen from it and whatever to supplement them. So if I want cotton honey, which goes really fast out here, it's better to put, my stronger colonies to the cotton fields if I have cotton that actually takes. But for the business aspect, with doing removals, selling honey, and hopefully next year I'll be big enough and where I could graft enough, because I could graft and everything, but everybody's asking me for bees. Do I sell bees? They're mean, this and that. But I have people within, up to 4 hours north of me, 5 hours west of me or more that don't have any bees to buy. They have to buy packages and they show up dead because 110-degree summers or whatever, or even 90 springs, or they have to drive 6 hours each direction to pick up a nook or something. Next year, my goal is to sell, maybe even if it's only 20 to 50 nooks, that's part of the business aspect of it.
Right.
But
Right.
there is one other company here that here in town, and they sell a lot of honey. They have a lot of colonies, and they do great with honey. They do a little bit of removals, but besides that, there's two other guys here that do a lot of removals almost every day. Coming to West Texas, I didn't think there was going to be a lot of bees and a lot of removals, but if I wanted to, I have a day job where I work 60 hours a day, then I have 4 kids, and I don't have enough time to do it. So I mainly do removals on the weekends, but removals is a lot of money. Then some of those guys, they don't even manage bees. They just sell them as well for ag exemption, which I do ag exemption as well. I didn't mention that because we have a lot of people with small land, 5 to 20 acres is a lot, that's kind of normal out here. There's a lot of land. And if you fit in that criteria with 5 to 20 acres, you could save, I don't know what the percentage is on your taxes, but just let me put a few bee colonies out there and they get to save money. They get to, give me some of that money that they save. And then I got more places for me for my bee yards where I could kind of spread them out too. So it's kind of a win-win with that as well.
Hey guys, I'm going to be signing out.
All right, Tom.
All right, Tom.
Yeah,
Next
I'd
time
probably
it
get
won't
about
take too
another.
long. Good night, everyone.
And I probably got another 15 minutes or so in me tonight. And I've been fighting that same thing. So like out yards. Todd, you've got out yards, right?
I only have one actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
So
I've got them packed in the farm by me, and then down the road I've got some growing there, so or multiplying.
So then when you start adding out yards in, and I've got a place to put some bees, some more bees, but the problem is then it's the time management, right? So now you're having to travel. You got to add the travel time and the oh shit factor if I left something back at the house, right?
Yep.
So
And they've done that.
that's the thing that I'm kind of fighting. I like last year I had them at the Chestnut Grove. I could take them back there tomorrow. They wouldn't bat an eye at me. But the thing is now I'm having to haul syrup, haul vaporizers, haul everything, extra boxes. Oh crap! I forgot the box. I got to go back. Something like that. So it's just I'm fighting it. But James was here yesterday and he said, Bob, I really think you probably got too many hives right here. So
I have 7 out yards right now, and only 40 something.
And a full-time job.
Right. And
Oh man.
now the thing that changed the game for me was I had a nice Tacoma truck, but it had a short bed, and I could only fit maybe 10 boxes in there if I was lucky. But I had a high payment. You know what? I said, I never use this truck only for bees. I just, sold my truck. Now I don't have that payment. I bought an old flatbed for $2,000, and she drove to, a round trip to almost to Louisiana and back. She's been cooking good, but having that flatbed, I throw 20 boxes on there, frames, lids, my tools for my removals, just in case I get a call. With the out yard, I have to do that. But at the same time, like you said, the time management, I only do it on the weekends. So I might say, hey, I'm coming to these 3 yards. They're in this side of town. Because I literally have them, 15 miles east of me, 20 miles south of me, and 15 miles north of me. So if I did a round trip, just driving is at least an hour. Not to mention gas if you forget something. So I try to stock up everything. I might say I'm going to hit my south side today on a Saturday, my north side on a Sunday. And, I luckily have a yard 5 minutes from me. It's actually kind of in town. And that's kind of what y'all were talking earlier. It's kind of my home yard where I have nooks, any kind of mating, anything like that I have to kind of baby or, need to check on. Or I do a bee removal and it's late at night. I'll just go take them to that yard, dump them there, and I'm 5 minutes from home. The rest, I mean, it does become management where driving around, gas money, all that stuff, it's going to take a lot of time.
Brian at Flower She said, Jeremy, you have a chance to make nukes with purchase mated queens and really impact the genetics in your area.
Yes, and I'm trying, but it's kind of hard. There's so many bees everywhere. Even that other company, they have 100+ colonies. They did buy queens this year, which is great on them. We try to work together. I try to teach them how to graft last year. My thing is, if I'm going to buy 40 mated queens, I'm not going to spend that money on that when I could graft them. Now, yes, the genetic part of it, I'd rather mellow it out and slowly say I get a super calm queen that I purchased, she's mated, and I mate open mate, then she should be, or the genetic should be 50% a little bit calmer.
Yeah, a little bit calmer.
And that would be workable. And I'd be fine with that because I tell you, our bees, they could produce honey. When it's honey time, they produce because they know they have a short window and they fight off mites good. They fight off, pests good, everything. But I mean, if I had the money to invest in that right now, I would. But I'm trying to get up to 100 colonies this year and buying foundations, frames, boxes. That will be in a couple years when I can say, you know what?
Like a vacuum.
What's that?
It's like a vacuum. How that just sucks the money out of the bank account.
Yeah. Luckily, there's a guy that had 250 colonies, and he's leaving his stuff out in the field. He had them get sprayed or this, that, and they're just all his boxes and equipment are just rotting away. So I've gotten super great deals. He's helped me out. The other day I bought 500 frames, plastic, full acorn plastic frames for $1 a piece. But I had to buy wax.
Poor Bob.
I just bought yesterday. I went and bought 176 frames.
Right.
$600.
Right. See, and this was he still has more out there. He has cows literally stomping over them and breaking them, and it breaks my heart to see it. But at the same time, I'm like, hey man, I'll go get a couple truckloads. At least you get some of your money back. And he's been able to do that with me. So all I have to do is, either pressure wash them clean, and then I have a bunch of wax I bought. I bought like 40-some pounds of wax, and I waxed them. I didn't want to try the plastic frames because of the heat out here, but so far the bees have been loving them. After I wax them, they draw them out perfectly, and
that's what I noticed too.
So I try to be as cheap as possible right now as I'm in the growing phase. But when it comes to, especially with a full-time job, if I say, hey, I want to hit 100 colonies, but my limit's really 60 or 75, that's fine. Anything extra, I could focus on selling nooks next year with mated queens. And as they said, that's where I could transfer my my goals and what I'm going to do in the operation as far as purchasing queens and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the I've done a little bit of everything over the last couple of years, right? Sold nukes. I was flipping queens.
Right.
I mean, I was going down to the big queen breeder and buying up, 25, 30 queens at a time. And then people that were looking for queens were coming, but I was only making, so I was putting out like 28 and making 12, right? Out of $40. So it's like, that's not good. Now, with that being said, if I ever needed a queen, I just went and grabbed one and used it, right? So I didn't have a shortage. But this year, with the grafting and stuff like that, I just kind of redirected what I'm trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
And
so I'm actually trying to graft this week. So hopefully I could do splits. If I harvest mesquite honey in 3 weeks, maybe 4, that'd be perfect. Because if I graft this week, have my splits or have my queens, my mating nooks, then make splits with my own queens, get up to 70, 80 there, and then get them through the summer, and then do it again in the fall. But then I usually buy mated queens in the fall just because it's a lot faster and gives me more time. Granted, our winters are about, we had a week below 30s at night, and they bring, I could feed liquid feed to them all winter long. Shoot, Christmas is probably about 70 degrees for the most part. And
Mark just said, Jeremy, do you want to buy some 10 frame singles with good genetics? I can help you reach 100 right now.
Do you deliver?
He's a truck driver. He's a trailer driver.
Oh man!
So you could probably make it
Watch
happen.
out! Watch out!
That's tempting. Yeah, it's crazy though, because nooks out here in Texas, in Georgia, I could get a nook for about $130 to maybe 150.
It's gone up now.
Right, and out here it's like 250.
Oh man,
300 something.
Yeah, but luckily I drove to East Texas, and those commercial beekeepers are from Nebraska. They were 4-frame nooks, but packed and beautiful, and I got them for 130 a piece. So that's why I was able to help, people from our bee club and stuff, and just say, hey, I added $20 to each one of them. I made $20 off of, made $20, but I drove a 15-hour round trip plus the food, plus the time, plus
Right.
I didn't make anything off of it, but
I did that this year. As I got 3-frame nukes, and then I added 2 frames to it, like, actually foundation in most cases, threw some feed to them. 2 weeks later, those frames are drawn out. The first round is hatched out. She's laid it back up, and they're ready to be sold. So,
right.
So I, that cost me $100 a piece, and I sold them for $200. So, but then you got to take the box and your 2 frames out of there, so you're not making as much as it looks like.
Right.
But it's a little bit extra.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Since I'm going to be honeybound here pretty soon, I need to find a good deal on jars. I like the 1 pounders.
So I bought all of my plastic bottles from Gamber Container.
Gamber.
Now, the hitch in that giddy up is the fact that you're in California and they're in Pennsylvania. So I don't know what the freight is going to be like for that. But they put like the I don't have one in here, but the 38 millimeter lid, it fits 1 pound, 2 pounds, like all their different sizes. And I paid 321 bottles like that. Yeah, 321 bottles cost me $90 something.
Really?
Deal.
Yeah, I get mine from Blue Sky Bee Supply.
Yeah, dude. No, they're all buying them from this company. This is the manufacturer.
Yeah,
Gamber. That's Gamber.
Yep, Container.
Okay.
And now the shipping. Now you'll have to call them and tell them what you want because their website sucks. But and then they'll email you a quote. But the box of lids, you get 1,700 caps.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man.
To a box, and so. But that one will fit on 1 pound, 2 pound, half gallon. The whole line. So.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad I only bought from Blue Sky Bee Supply. They sell like 251 pounders. It's $96, but then shipping was like $80. And then I had to buy the lids on top. But yeah, that's a good point with 1,700 at a time. Todd, with 15 to 20 supers, you're gonna have what 1,200, 1,500 pounds easily, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of honey.
All right, so I'll give you this was last year. I'll even share it on the screen because I ain't scared like these other YouTubers. I share it all. I might get banned, but I'm going to share it. Let's see. There it is, sales code. Okay. So this is my last year. Can you guys see that? Or let me make it big. So, okay, we'll plus it up. There we go.
There you go.
So 321 bottles cost me $97.90. 1,700 caps cost me $153. So this was last year. Now this year, I still have caps.
Right.
So I ordered 600. I ordered 2 cases of bottles. And I'm sure the price has gone up a little bit because this was last year, right? But the shipping.
Now, those are caps, just the screw-on caps. That's not the flip-top lid where you could squeeze it out.
It's the same one that he's got right there. It's the flip-on that's got the seal in it.
And then it has the seal.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I've been getting, but it's outrageous now what I'm paying.
Look, I just doxed myself, all my personal information up on the screen. It's like everybody's already got it.
Yeah, what's that bank account number?
Yeah.
That's not on there. Look, payment with order.
Oh.
So I was trying to look for the shipping. For some reason, it didn't.
Well, UPS.
Oh, right here, 90. It cost me $93 last year to get that.
So 97.
So it's about the same. A little. So that would probably save me, get 70 more bottles, 71 more bottles, all those lids, and still save, 80.
321 bottles, Lisa.
And it's roughly about $323. So you're right at $1 a bottle with the cap.
Yeah, but
including shipping.
Yes. So, but I got 1,400 more caps than I had bought. Yeah. So I don't have to order any more caps for a while, right? Yeah. So it ends up, I think I averaged it out, and I don't really include shipping too much because that's a tax deduction anyway. Mm-hmm. But I think it came out to like 47 cents.
All of it's tax deduction.
Yeah, it's all tax deduction. But you know what I'm saying. That doesn't mean we like to put it out first of all.
In y'all's area, how much do y'all sell a 1 pound bottle for?
I'm getting $10 a pound here.
Last year I got 13.
So here's the phone number up here. If you can see that.
Oh yeah.
717
39.
393 1716.
Cool.
And they got another number on there too. It's 717 393 8687.
Now, when it comes to ordering stuff, Todd, what part of California are you in?
I'm Central California, Fresno, basically.
Okay, so I was there near Bakersfield, Visalia last year.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm for boxes and stuff, who do you go to?
There's a local pallet company here that makes boxes. It's called Union Pallet. I don't think they have a website,
Okay.
but they have really good prices.
Okay. Yeah.
And,
have you
and
heard
they'll
of?
ship, but you've heard of them?
No. Have you heard of Bennett Apiaries?
Oh yeah, that's up in Northern California. Yeah, but you have to buy by the pallet.
Right. But with us, I mean, at this time, I'm starting to. I could buy a pallet of 50 boxes from them with, full of brand new frames and foundations already assembled, painted for like $2,600 for 50 full complete.
And that's what about shipping? Because I've always wondered about how much a pallet's going to cost shipping.
Well, I think it was only like $200 to ship, but that was included in that quote.
In that price.
And a buddy got them, 2 hours south of me. And he's been happy with them ever since. But that's why I was just asking there in California.
So this is this year's price. I just found the new one. So I got 2 cases, 642. They were $118 a case.
So it jumped up $20 a case.
But then the shipping went down a little bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
$13, yeah.
So what's 237? Let's do 237, 80 divided by 642.
That's somewhere around 50 cents.
37 cents.
Oh,
37 cents a jar.
Wow.
And then the lid, whatever the lid came out to from last year.
Bob, are you able to pick what color lids?
Yeah, they have you can get gold. They got a different color lids you can get.
That's cool.
I got the yellow ones like you got there.
Okay.
But yeah, you definitely can. So
yeah, I'm definitely going to have to order something.
well, I was buying when I first started, I wasn't making a lot of honey right at first. So I was just going to Amazon and let me get a case of these glass queen lines. And, I was buying, I'd get 100 of them or a few hundred of them. And then it was like, man, I'm paying $1.70 a damn jar.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then I started doing, some mason jars, and I still do like pint mason jars. But then, $1, I'm like, I'm okay with the $1 a jar. So I still buy those mason jars. But then Charlie came on. He's like, no, you're going to the wrong spot. You need to go over here. Because he said that's where Man Lake and all those guys buy their plastic bottles. So why buy it from Man Lake when you can just buy it directly from the same people? So
yeah, Dayton wants for what I want. It was like a $1.23 for a jar, a plastic jar, and then I think 25 more cents for the cap. So almost $1.50. That's
they're trying to get into they're in your honey game now. They're trying to like take some of that honey money. So
the only reason I go to them is because it's 10 minutes away from my house.
Yeah, that's it. This convenience factor. That's why I spent $600 on frames yesterday when I could get them from half price out of California. But, but then I got to pay the shipping to get it from California to me, which brings the price rate back up, right?
Did you want plastic or you
want wood? Yeah, so no, I don't use the wood anymore because to me it's ludicrous. And hear me out before you start smacking me through the screen. All right. At the end of the day, it's a business. You want to keep your expenses low to make as much profit as you can on the product, right?
Right.
So when you buy a wood frame and put an Acorn plastic foundation in it or a Pureco, or we'll even go and say Premier foundation, it doesn't matter. $4.50 is what you're going to pay for that. Right.
Mm-mm. Not me.
I can get them for $2.30 a frame, or $2.30 a foundation, and $1.25 a frame. It's about $3.30.
Man Lake's $1.29, and Premier. I just ordered a bunch from Premier and Man Lake. That's what I'm building in the garage. $1.29 a frame, and
Right. That's the 100 pack of commercial grade frames for
correct.
$129 for 100. Okay. Now, how
And-
much is your right sell or your
Premier was damn, I can't remember. Hang on a minute. I have it.
Well, if you buy
But it-
500, you could get it for about $1,500.
so $3 a piece? So you're paying $4.29 if you're getting them for $3 a piece.
No, I'm saying already fully assembled. If you buy a pallet, that's where I get to the pallet
Yeah.
side. Buying 500 already assembled frames and foundations, wooden frames, foundations, for $1,500 shipped, $1,530 or something like that.
From Man Lake?
No, I have a list in my truck, but I've got quotes from 7 different places: Man Lake, Hillco, Bennett, Dayton. I mean, lot of.
Per 100 it was 177, and that's double waxed. And what I do is I just put another coat on it. Yeah, I'm spending some time, and but guess what? What am I going to do in the evening? It's dark.
You're going to be on live streams with the rest of us.
Well, when I'm not, then I'm out doing frames. So I'm like in there for $3 something a frame, 129, and with shipping, it's
306 less shipping a frame. So $3.06 for which is actually, that's cheaper than what I bought those plastic frames for. However, in the past, I've gotten the plastic frames for like $2, $1.45, something like that. So last year I switched to plastic because I was buying the wooden frames with the foundation. And I was like, okay, so the bees don't do anything with the frame. That frame does nothing for the bees. All it's doing is holding foundation.
Yeah.
And I'm buying plastic foundation to put in that wooden frame by the same company with the plastic frames.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I waste the time? This is me personally. I'm not saying that's everybody. But as far as assembly and everything, it just made more sense for me to buy the plastic frames and put them in. Now, I didn't roll the wax last year. So I did have a lot of crazy stuff. And even my regular wax foundation from, years before that, I had that. So I've been slowly taking it out, scraping it, re-waxing it, putting it back in, and letting them rip. But just like Jeremy said, once you roll that wax on there, they pop it out there.
Yeah, I was totally against all plastic frames and foundations, but this guy still has another 1,000 in the field that I'm probably going to get for $1 a piece.
Hey, price is right.
Once I started, this year, I like to feed early spring. I could start feeding. Well, I feed December, January because it's hot here. But they started drawing out comb for me in February, and they've probably done 40, 50 deep boxes drawn out this year alone on those black, all plastic, and I've loved them. Now, before the old plastic frames that used to be out there a few years ago, those would either crack right away or, the heat would mess them up or anything like that. But these ones have been, the acorn ones, I've been impressed.
I got some of these as well. Saracel sent me some of these hive beetle resistant frames. It's the weirdest thing ever, though. And when I say that is when you pull that frame out, because where the plastic frames has the slots on them that everybody hates because of small hive beetles, these are actually hexagons.
Right.
So the queen will lay eggs in there and they will cap them.
What are hive beetles?
That was the thing.
You don't have them there?
It's crazy because in Georgia, I used to have slime outs and everything like that. Georgia, it's so dry and hot here. The only times I've seen them is on removals, like in a shed, like on the shed floor. But in the past 2 years, I've probably seen 5.
They probably hit the dirt and like just.
Yeah, I mean, they probably they just cook
Sizzle.
But thank goodness we have no problems with hive beetles here in West Texas. Now, wax moths, that's totally different. But so these, for me, they're perfect for me the way I'm using them now. So,
and that's the reason why I didn't want to go to plastic frames, because that's just a place for that beetle to hide. The bees can't get to them. But like Jason was saying with the new Ceracell, that and Bob, what you said, they make the hexagon, so they utilize it.
But if you with my hive beetles, it doesn't seem to matter if there's a slot or a hexagon. If they can fit in it, they're going in. You know, and that's what I think it's kind of crazy. Hive beetles, I've been racking my head on hive beetles for a few years, and the thing is that with hive beetles, keeping them out of the colony is one thing, but they can fly, so it's hard to keep them out. The problem is the damage is not done in the ground. I mean, you're breaking the cycle, but the damage is done before those larvae come out to go into the ground. So because they can fly in from wherever, and even though you're breaking the cycle, they can still slime that colony out. So it's the best thing that I found for them. I mean, peppermint works to keep them down for sure, but strong colonies. I mean, they can where they can just keep those beetles harassed enough, and then you hive tool test them as much as you can. But Matt's like, what's hive beetles? They don't have them up there in Minnesota. So, I mean, that's just what, luckily, knock on wood, my colonies have not had that many, but some of these nukes that I got, the 3 framers, these last ones, they're they're a special case right now.
My problem, I think, is the same with Jeremy, is the wax moth. I'll leave frames tipped on their side, or in a box tipped on the side, so the air goes through, the sun, there's sunlight. I'll still get wax moth.
Yeah, I just gave up against them. So, well, the good thing about wax moth is they don't eat through. They can't eat all the way through. So, I mean, you can just scrape it off and re-wax it and put it back. What I find is, like on a foundationless, that they'll eat all the way through and slime it out and web it out, right? Then I just end up just cutting it out and giving it back to them. So it's just, it is what it is. It's the pest of the year, but, I don't know that there's anything we can do about them. We can just got to keep and the funny thing is, I can't get close to some of my colonies, but hive beetles is right in, or wax moths right in. Let me see. You cannot be afraid to reduce and deconstruct the hive to allow the colony to eradicate them. Yep. Reduce the 10 to 3 to 4 frames for 36 hours. Freeze all non-brood frames and then put back. Oh, what happened? We lost them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I do. If I see hive, like the first sign of a hive beetle larva, I'll pull the whole frame out and throw it in the freezer. And then kill anything that's in there, right? Then take it back out and give it. The bees will pull all the freeze-dried larva, whatever's left in there.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no problem, man. It happens all the time on here. But so how far are you from Mississippi? Then you'd have to go to Louisiana, then Texas. So I was just trying to think that for boxes. See, I was going to buy those $12 boxes from Royal Bee, and I got some, and I like them because they got dovetails and they hold together nice and everything. However, those $12 boxes come 100 to a pallet. I was going to buy a pallet, and then they put they wanted $500 shipping from Moss Point, Mississippi to my house.
That's crazy.
So that means they're all $17 now and not $12, you know.
Right. Now, is that assembled, painted, anything like that, or?
Oh no, you have to put those together.
Check out Bennett Apiaries. I haven't, I'm not endorsing them or anything like that, but they actually just reduced their prices to like $12 a box. And that's usually, it might be $15 a box, painted, assembled, 2 coats of paint, whatever it is. And they could do 500 or 750 for a pallet. And shipping was only to West Texas was only $200 and something. If you go on their Facebook, they might have it on their website, but they actually have like a little price sheet. It's normally by the pallet, but you could actually get with them. My buddy, like I said, he bought 50 deep boxes.
But they're in California too, right?
They are, but shipping from California to West Texas was only $250 or something like that.
Well, your 2 states touch. I've got 49 more states that touch me before California. Right.
I would check. What I like about them is they actually, the owner and whoever else, they actually will text you and they follow up with me every couple months. Hey, you still good? You need anything else? They do have great service. They'll send you a quote, and if anything changes, like my buddy, he said, hey, I was quoted this, and they're like, oh, we'll fix that for you. Sorry, they're good. And
customer service is key.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I might have to go up to Bohemia Bees and just buy his box building machine, his box cutting machine.
See, another good thing with me is that guy that had 250 colonies. He's got a couple brand new pallets of deep unassembled boxes, but he's also got a field of his trash pile that I'm able to get for about $7 a piece. And they're not trash at all. I mean, they're just out in the weather. So with me, I'm being as cheap as possible. If bees will live in an old house or a tree, a good box is,
water meter box, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one beekeeping store like here, and it's not here. It's 30 miles away from me, right? So it's not like close. But for you, you'd be like, hell, that's right next door.
Right.
So the thing is that they just don't. If I had 2 colonies, they would have everything I need to go, and But when you start talking about, I need 50 supers and 500 frames and all that, then now I'm ordering pallets of stuff, right? So if I'm ordering pallets of stuff and I already have an online store, I'll just order it at the wholesale price,
right.
From like Pureco. Pureco and Acorn were the same company at one time. And the guy split off and made Acorn from Pureco. And there's no doubt in my mind, and until I'm proven otherwise, they're buying all those things from China, and they're buying enough of them to where they get their name stamped on top of them, or they work that deal. And I'm not hating. The shit works, so I'm going to use it. So it doesn't matter, But at the end of the day, the shipping from California here. So if I order a pallet of frames, 16 cases, it was like $425 to get shipped from California out here. So now, if you look at that, it's basically going to end up being 30 to 40 cents more per frame cost. So it's still cheaper per frame than what I paid for what I bought yesterday per frame, but I have to order 16 cases of frames. And now I don't have boxes for that many. So now do I resell them? What do I do to recoup that money?
And that's why I would check with them, because my buddy, he just did 50 boxes with the 500 frames, and to save on shipping, the frames are already assembled. They just set in the boxes, shipped them that way, and that helped with shipping instead of buying a pallet of
boxes. And you got 50 boxes and 500 frames from Bennett?
Yes, sir. And I think it was like 26 or 2,700 bucks shipped to his door.
Are you a veteran?
I was in the Marines, yes, sir.
The shirt gave it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a vet too. So thanks for your service, by the way. So,
Yeah, thank you. Thanks to both of you.
And so yeah, and budget grade and select grade and all that, I think it's all bullshit, to be honest with you, because some of the boxes I bought last year, they assured me these are all select grade, and I paid extra a couple bucks a box to have them put together, and they didn't use glue on the boxes, so this at the end of the season the frames are falling down because the frame rests are bowing out on them. So there, some of the commercial grade stuff that I've got, for as long as it lasts, Bob Benny and those guys. Bob Benny builds his stuff, I think, but I think they're just as nice, just as good, and the bees don't care.
Right.
So,
yeah, I've always been on a budget, so I buy the budget grade if I buy something.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was assembling some wooden frames and foundations that I had. I had a box and I was bored yesterday, so I built like 30 of them. But these were budget. I have never seen equipment where it barely even went together on the frames. You had the actual slots, either too wide or the top bar is just like it's broken, or there was old glue in there from before and they took them apart or something. And they were rough, but
well, even my bottom boards. So to give you an example, you buy bottom boards, they're assembled already. Right. So you get them, and I'm trying to take out an entrance reducer, and I'm prying, because it doesn't fit in there real tight. There's always that one side. So I put my Hive tool in there and I'm prying to pull it out. The whole damn side comes loose. I'm like, what in the hell?
Yeah, I make my own bottom boards and top.
So I think I'm going to, I don't know, shit, maybe I just call China and say, send me a damn shipping container of frames, plastic frames, put my name on them, boom, and just send them. It can't be that much. The V4 boxes work pretty good for me. It's only got the one colony, and I've robbed frames out of it and put it in nukes to sell, right? So, but it's worked fine. I don't have any problems with it. So Vivor had sent me a wax dip box, right, to review on a video, and it has doors on the side of it, so observation doors, right? But there's no plexi behind it, so when you take the door off, you're just looking right in the colony, right? It's like, what the hell? But other than that, perfect. It worked. If you leave the doors closed, fine, no problems. But yeah, they have assured me that they've already started putting into production ones with plexi in it. Okay. And you can buy it without the thing. That's just what they sent me. But they've sent me that. They sent me that extractor that I gave away. So, hey, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. It's free, right?
Yeah.
That's free 99. So I didn't even have to pay shipping or anything. So best box ever. Right. I'll take all the free boxes they can send me. The only person that's got a better deal on boxes than on that box than I did is the Bug Farmer. Partnered with Bee Castle, and Bee Castle sent him 20 setups. So they sponsored his channel, and he got a whole apiary worth of Bee Castle, 20 hives worth of stuff. So he had to provide the bees, but they provided the equipment. So,
and he's in Georgia, I think.
Yeah, I think he's around Atlanta.
Okay.
So I'm east of him. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. Action Jackson over here, Fort Jackson.
What's that, like 3 hours away from him?
Yeah, about 3 hours from Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah, I went out there for a job. I used to live in Georgia, and I went to North Carolina for, I think, when I worked at a Caterpillar or something like that.
We got a caterpillar place here too.
Right. I went to there for some
South Carolina. Yeah. They're not far from me either. So it's but you know, every single location has its own specific sets of challenges when it comes to beekeeping, right? So it's kind of hard to say, like you're saying, you got hot bees and the distance to get to bee stores and stuff like that is a long way. Mine's the same thing. I mean, other than that, there's one supply company here, you know? So it's like, am I going to be that guy that's like, let me just open up a store? Maybe. I mean, not, and I look at it from this is going to sound shitty, guys, so I'm going to just lay it out there. But looking at it from my aspect of having a store, the reason I would open a store first and foremost is so I get that discount on stuff that I use, right? Buying it wholesale as compared to retail. There's a savings there. So that's the first thing. So when I started my little store, obviously I started selling Apis Biologics. That was the first thing. And then I made my swarm lure, and now I've got the honey rustler and the pins and the mite check cups and stuff like that. It's all small stuff that I sell right out of this room, right? So it's stuff that's easy to package and send. When we start talking boxes and frames, well, that's a whole nother animal, right? You got to have storage space for that. And so that's why I haven't gone to the bigger thing. And then when someone says, hey, Bob, I'm ordering boxes off your site. Well, now I have to have bigger packages, right? And now I can't take it to my mailbox and put the packages in. I got to take them to the post office or have them pick it up. And so that's, I kind of like Bohemia Bees store thing that, hey, you can order it and come pick it up on Saturday, right? Like Saturday's a pickup day. So, so that's kind of what I'm experimenting with now, and, you know, outlaw mite treatments and stuff like that. So, but you said, Todd, they use they use a what do you call it? Some kind of juice?
Oh, it's called the juice.
The juice.
Yeah.
It's the great unspoken hive or the mite treatment.
Yeah.
That nobody talks
the
about.
Commercial guys do it.
It's the same stuff, though. I'm pretty sure.
It's a Bovatraz, or what's that called?
Tactic, yeah.
Tactic, yeah.
So Tactic comes in a liquid, and it for like an 8-ounce bottle, it's like $160 or something. And then you put 1 ounce of that in some oil. I was reading it on the site, but I'm using it in Crisco, right? It's in Crisco, so it's mixed up in the Crisco. You take that stick and throw it in there, and what I can say is, I don't know how many mites were in that colony because it was a nuke, but I know how many dead mites were on the stick. So
that's all that counts.
James counted them yesterday off of one stick over 24 hours. There was 25 mites stuck to that stick. Wow. So that tells me it works. It kills the mites and not the bees. And it's like a flash treatment. I mean, they say, what was it they said on the website that I was looking at the product? They said that it was, they were doing it in towels, right? And they said to put one sheet on there a week for 3 weeks. Huh. But so I guess it would be the same thing with the sticks. If you put a stick under there, then next week put another stick. And that's just for the hatching out ones, right? But when I ran out of sticks, I started getting my old Apivar strips that were just laying around everywhere, picking them up, dipping it in there. And I was just sliding it in the front of the colony. Now, with that being said, yeah, my hives, the one that I pulled out had one mite on it. So, and that's a 10 frame colony. So one mite on a 10 frame colony or 25 out of a nuke. You know, it's like, yeah, how are those things living? Right. You know, that's the real question. So I'm trying to get that under control.
You know, several months ago, actually just the beginning of March. I was bumping around on Instagram, and some guy in Turkey was talking about thyme juice that they use for Varroa mites, and they added half a liter of come here, stupid picture. Half a liter of thyme juice to 8 liters of syrup, and is how you make it. And they recommend to do it twice a year in the autumn and the spring. And I don't know. I've never heard of this, but the links that he had on here didn't go anywhere. So I don't know if I picked up a virus or what, but I don't think so, because there's a lot of people that liked it. But yeah, I thought that was kind of strange. I didn't know there was such a thing as thyme juice, or
I didn't know either.
Thymol, whatever it's called. But
Tactic is 12.5% amatraz.
mm-hmm.
So it's pretty.
I'm by Mexico.
Yeah, the Mexico,
you
can buy it from Mexico, Bovatraz,
you can
right?
get a good deal there.
So this place sells it. It's called G&P Supply, and they say Tactic on honeybees: 6 ounces of canola oil, 2 ounces of Tactic.
Yeah.
Roll of blue shop towels cut in half, and then both should be about the same size as a roll of toilet paper. Put it in a plastic Folgers coffee can for storage. Mix oil and Tactic in coffee can and place one of the rolls of towels and let it soak it up. 1 towel across the frames for each hive every 5 days for 20 days. It's the first thing in the spring, and then once a month after that. Skip the months that I have supers on, then repeat the whole thing when the supers come off.
You see those guys that are commercial that are doing their videos in the almonds, when they pop open that top box, you see those blue towels. That's not extended release oxalic acid. That's that's the juice.
It's $159.99.
Oh, that's too much.
But how much is it? It doesn't even 1 liter. That's for a liter.
That's the jar size. I know a cattle guy here. He used to use it because they'll dip their steers in it to control all the ectoparasites.
That's how big it is, right?
He can't get it anymore.
Well, this says G&P Supply. It's got no phone number listed at the top. So
yeah,
it's black label, black market stuff here. So it says they have 78 in stock.
Oh.
USA shipping only, no international shipping.
According to the cattle guy here, who's pretty big around here, he can't get it anymore. So I think he can if he goes south of the border, but he can't get it on a website, I don't think, here.
Right.
I'd be cautious first of all, that's expensive, and second of all, there's no phone number on it. You might be paying might be paying
China.
yeah.
But the thing is that I guess it's illegal in the States for that use. I don't have bee police here, so it's not like I have an inspector saying, hey, what's your treatment regimen or what anything. The most important thing for me is that I don't have mites. I can't afford to buy bees every year. And
I could see my mites sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes when you look at some bees, like, oh, hey, there's a mite on that one. So I got freaked out when I saw that stick on those nukes. So I used the rest of my open Apivar strips, put those one per 5 frames, right? And then once I ran out of those, then they got tongue depressors. So we went nuclear on them.
Right.
So
I was
last
shocked
year-
at how many mites I saw on that stick when I saw that.
Last year at the beginning of the year, I was freaked out, right? So I treated them. I had never done spring treatments other than OA, and I saw sideline beekeeper Craig Branch. He was putting on Apivar strips in the spring, so I went ahead and put Apivar on, and then one of my colonies I opened up and I saw some deformed wing virus in there. So yeah, I'm not going to say how much OA I used, but
Enough.
enough to get the job done twice.
Right.
So I hit them. The very first colony I hit was them, and then I OA'd every colony and came back, and the last colony I hit was the same one that I hit first and blasted them again. And guess what? They're one of my strongest colonies this year, you know. So mission accomplished. Luckily, you know, we don't have as many regulations here as other states do. But with that being said, I think that really holds me in my state. We need to be a little more diligent. Just because nobody's looking at us, that means nobody's monitoring it.
Right.
Which means the guy next to me may not be doing anything to do his, right? So I've got to be extra diligent on mine to make sure mine are protected. So so that's why I do a little bit of aggressive. If I lose a colony, it's not going to be because of hive beetles. I mean, not hive beetles, but mites.
Right.
It's going to be for something else. Hive beetles or wax moth or something like that. But yeah, I definitely
real quick. I just want to say I'm about to cut off. My phone's about to die. But thanks for having me.
Oh man, anytime, dude. We always drop the link. Please pop in.
I appreciate it.
We'll probably be live tomorrow night because Charlie will be back home and with his connection. And
it's Mother's Day. I won't be able to do bee stuff on Mother's Day.
Oh well, yeah. I still be doing bee stuff because my mom's got Alzheimer's and we take care of her, and so we're kind of stuck here all the time. So yesterday was a blessing because when the guys showed up, we just stayed in the yard and talked bees and
right. That looked fun, by the way.
Oh yeah, we had a great time. Just had a couple adult beverages and went and did bee stuff all day long. So it was fun.
All right, y'all have a good one. Thank you, Todd.
All right, thanks, Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy.
Good meeting you, brother.
All right, thank you.
I think I'm going to cut out of here too, Bob.
Yeah, it's 11:30 on a Saturday night. You know,
I got to get back in the garage and do a few more frames. I built a jig that does 60 frames, so I sit there.
It's a little bit faster that way. I don't have a jig. I don't mind. I mean, I do kind of mind, but frames are not that bad to build. You know, so it's not that bad. It's just that you have to do so many of them.
Yeah.
You know. But hey, if I'd have done, I would have saved a little bit of money probably.
Well, if I had bought plastic, I wouldn't be doing frames.
Right, see, so you'd just be like, yeah, you know. But see, now I have to wax them. Yeah. I mean, these I know just came in, but I don't know how long they sat in the warehouse, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other thing, but I
keep my boxes Premier in the house because if I left them in the garage or the shop at the farm,
too hot.
Now it's getting hot. Like today it was 90 something.
And if you pull a frame out of foundation and set it off to the side, it starts glistening and turns clear. It's like, that's melted already. Yeah. You know, so
it doesn't take
I know
long.
I get the same thing. But all right, man. Well,
all right.
We'll call it a night and you guys have a good evening and we'll see you on the next live stream.
All right. Take it easy. See you.